Good evening and welcome to the Executive Suite here on Inspired to Achieve Global TV. And thank you for bearing with me this evening because due to circumstances beyond my control, I couldn't be with you at 7, but it's our Monday evening time when we catch up after the weekend. And I just wanted to be with you, even if it's for a shorter period today, just so that we can touch base and we can share what's going on for us today. So, how are you? How has your week started? Has it started as expected? Is it totally different to what you expected and planned? I know for myself, it's definitely been different to plan, and it's been so cold. So if you're here in the UK, you're probably feeling the cold like myself. I can even feel my voice going a bit croaky now, so bear with me if it does go funny. Hi, Marcia, thanks for joining. So I was just saying that it's been one of those Mondays, and for the first time in a while, actually, I thought that I really do need a clone because the number of things I've got going on at the moment, and that they need focused attention. It feels as though, if there was another one of me, at least I could split the decision making and split the load. And as much as I can get help in certain areas, there's certain things that just need my attention. And this is what we talk about in the executive suite. How do you, as a leader, as a business owner, as a busy executive, find that balance? How do you manage all the things that require your direct attention? So it's ideal that I'm actually going through that so I can share some of what I'm going through and how I'm dealing with it. So I can see that, Marcia, you've posted a question. I'm here, Marcia. Thank you for wondering. But no, it was tempting, I must admit, to say, look, I really can't be on the platform tonight. But then, because integrity is such a big thing for me, my conscience wouldn't let me not come on, even if it was for a short space of time. So yes, I'm here. And today I'm really just going to share some of what I'm doing, what's been going on, and maybe a few bits from the Value in You as well. So some of you may know or may not know that I'm a trustee for a couple of charities. One of the charities in particular, we have an annual event, and it's always the second Saturday in November. And it's a huge fair that we stage once a year, or it's staged on behalf of us, but this year I've been pulled in again to help with the planning. And it's full on because we have multiple stall holders, and some of fairly sort of senior people who have stalls that represent their countries. We have private vendors as well. So we have to get all of their information in. We have to know who's going to be there. We then have to create floor plans. So all of Friday, I was at one of the high commissions actually working on floor plans for this event. And I'm back there tomorrow afternoon finishing off the job. So the attention to detail that's required just to do that. And I'm trying to think how many, I think it's about 100 or so stalls that we're trying to fit in over 3 floors. And there's a combination of things. So there's some areas for food, areas for arts and crafts, areas for tourist boards, all kinds of things, all under one roof. And we have between sort of 1,500 and 2,000 visitors during the course of the day. So it's full on, and security is quite high, and lots involved in planning the day and getting volunteers together, all sorts, and all the other bits that you have to book to have in place before the event can even start. So that's been one of the things I've been working on. So in between doing my work, planning this as well, and fitting in where I can, attending meetings. So this is something that is happening on the 10th of November. And it's a really fun day, although it's a busy day and there's lots of work involved, but it's for such a worthwhile cause, because what we do is we raise funds so that we can sponsor girls' secondary education in their own countries. These are bright girls who, due to their own financial situations, wouldn't otherwise get an education. So it's something that's quite dear to my heart, which is why I do it in my own time. So that's one of the things that's taking a lot of my time at the moment. Naturally, there is work. if I don't work, I don't live. So there's work. And again, it's how do I prioritize these things? There's my work, which I'm interested in and I always want to give value. There's also my cause and my missions that I also want to give value. So it's how do you prioritize these things when sometimes they need your attention at the same time. So that's part of what's been happening. And then obviously there's areas around this organization that we're all part of that we have people that want your time, people that want to speak to you, people that want to communicate. So this is part and parcel of being involved in an environment where you're working with people. And when you're building a business, you have to speak to people. So there's lots of different things that are vying for my time at the moment, and it's just finding balance. I haven't even mentioned family yet. So, my family, thankfully, are very supportive. So there's also the element, where do I take time out for me? Where do I take time out for the family? So these are some of the things that have been going on in the last few months, actually, not even weeks, that I'm juggling. And today was a day that there was work and there was transport. So I'll say no more on that. I can see Beata's also joined us. Hi, Beata. Lovely to have you with us this evening. So you've had some exciting times. I can't wait till we have a proper conversation to hear more about your great trip and the impact that you had when you were in Poland. So I'm so happy for you that it went really well. So, yes. And Marcia, what are you saying to me today? Oh, thank you, Marcia. That's very kind. But again, it's finding things that I'm passionate about. And this is part of what I see when you're somebody that's actually in tune with who you are. You start to do things that satisfy different aspects of yourself. So for me, this is over 10 years ago now, that I really started focusing on who am I? What am I about? What am I interested in? So my work I do because one, I have a set of skills that I can share, and I'm interested in business. So it's a no-brainer for me to help business owners and entrepreneurs to ensure that their businesses are flowing properly, that they've got the right financial and accounting systems, they've got the right structure and operational systems and processes within the organization, because that satisfies one element of me. Then you have the other side of me, that I'm very passionate about family, about women and their impact on their families. So again, my charitable work or voluntary work that I do is in that arena. And again, I mentioned family, so I have my own family. So there's times when I have to have that quality time, even if it's just lounging about and having conversations with my children. So, it's them knowing me knowing them. And this is all part of us being a whole human being, because we're not just one-sided. We're like a diamond or a gem, we're multifaceted. So how do you give appropriate time to the different areas and facets of yourself? So these are some of the things that I believe that we need to talk about more, because it's only when we talk about them and explore who we are and what makes us tick that we actually get the kind of results that we want, and we start to live the life that we love. So each day is a joy. Each day is something new to experience. Each day we feel good about who we are. Only last week, I met with one of our sales reps, and the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, have you been on holiday? You look really well." And I thought, no, I actually need a holiday. But the fact that she hadn't seen me for a little while and seen me, she saw something there, then obviously it must be the work that I'm doing, the things, the people I'm interacting with that have that positive impact, that it looks as though I'm rested. So, okay, it's working in some way. So, and Beata saying hi to both myself and to Marcia. Hi, Beata. And wow, Beata, wow, amazing. Was that about your trip, Beata? I'm waiting to hear more. So, this is some of what I'm sharing with you. I've mentioned about priorities and prioritizing what you do. The other thing is, what tools do you have in place that enable you to do what you need to do? So, for example, even getting my laptop and everything set up today, I had help. I'll own up. I didn't set everything up for today. I had help to do that for me because they appreciated that I was rushed, that I had delays. And therefore, in order for me to even be able to come on here and speak with you today, I had help come along and get everything prepared for me. So, these are some of the things that make our lives easier, make our lives work, having the right tools and assistance so that we can function at our best and do what we're there to deliver on. So I implore you, who have you got in your team? Who's there helping you when you get to a stage where you need to move forward, but you can't do everything yourself, and there may be certain things that somebody else can do for you. So Beata, I'm not picking on you today, but for example, with your trip, you had some members of the 12 that came along to support you. So one, that was a good feeling, I presume, for you, being able to go on stage and know that there were people there that could fully understand how it felt to get up and be on that stage. Likewise, I know you had family around you who were also there. So having that support system, that mechanism around you, people who can see how much you've grown and what you were sharing, and actually have that sense of pride in seeing you up there delivering. These is all part of your toolkit and your support mechanism. And these are what if we nurture these going forward, then, we get better, we get stronger, and hopefully our teams get stronger. So that's something that's worth considering. And yes, you're right, Beata. When you do what you love, it doesn't feel as though it's work. And we've had conversations around this, that if you get up ready, knowing that you're going to be doing something that you love, you don't even want to stay in bed, because you haven't got time to be staying in bed relaxing, because you want to be doing what you love. So this is what living as a fuller version and a more expressive version of yourself really entails. It's when you tap into the things that make you thrive, the things that energize you, then it doesn't so much feel like work. So how many things do you do that actually energize you? Or do you go to work just because you feel that you have to do it and it's going to pay the bills? Because is that really what you want going forward and consistently? Or is it time to actually reassess and look at what's serving you and what's not serving you? Because sometimes we get so caught up in the doing that we do not always take that time to reflect and look at, well, are we really doing what it is we love? Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing at this precise moment in time? And these are the key questions that I think we need to frequently ask ourselves. And it may just be an annual health check, in terms of a health check in the activities that we're taking part in, the interactions that we're having. How are they serving you? Are they actually expanding you? Are they for your greater good? Or have they now sort of exceeded their time frame, and it's time for you to do something different, time for you to make different decisions? And this is where doing a regular check, regular review of where you're at, what's working for you, what's not working, what can be improved, what needs to be shedded out. We're practically at winter now. Now, in certain areas, you walk around and the trees have no leaves on them whatsoever. They're probably all on the pavement, because they are no longer serving those trees. They did what they needed to do during the summer. They gave their shade. They looked pretty. But with autumn, they changed. They went into another phase. And come winter, they dropped because they were no longer necessary. And they had to make way for the new birth come the spring. And it's the same thing with our lives. We can get stagnant in the space of doing the same thing because we feel it out of a sense of duty, as opposed to the role we should be playing. And it's the same when you're in a business. Do you keep doing things the same way because that's how you've always done them? Or do you have to find new ways of doing business, new ways of delivering the service or the product that you've been delivering? Now, funny enough, I had a conversation today with one of our suppliers, And we were talking about the Sage program because she's asked me, well, what system are you using? And we got talking about different systems. And she mentioned Sage. And I do use Sage, actually. And if you use Sage 50 and you've had the upgrade, you'll see that they've changed the whole look and feel of the system. So we were both saying, no, I prefer the old way. I don't like this new system. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way you use it. But we've got so used to using it in a particular way that we felt comfortable and we were in our comfort zone with it. And we could just use it without really thinking about what we had to do. Whereas now there's a new structure to the system. It works slightly differently and it may even be more efficient. I can't prove that yet, but we're now having to do things differently. Now having to look at it in a different way. Now having to look for things that automatically you knew where to press a button. So this again is innovation. This is creating change. It's implementing something new to get different results or get more efficient results. So my actual suggestion to you today, I'm not going to call it a challenge, is to do a review on your role, whether you're employed or you're in business. Review how you operate. Review how you deliver your service or your product. And see if that's the most efficient way that you could be doing it now. If it's the most effective way that you could be doing it. And why do you do the things the way that you do them? Because are they things that you implemented sort of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even 3 years ago? So are they still relevant now? I'm just going to do a time check because I don't want to run into anybody else's time. So while you're pondering that, let me just look at some of the messages. Yes, so Beata's saying, yes, support network is very important. Rajan has joined us. Hi, Rajan. Good evening to you too. And who else have we got? So Beata saying we need to delegate tasks and to look after ourselves. Even when we do what we love. That's so true because you can wear yourself out. And Beata says it's never too late to learn new skills, new technology, new way of working, new way of thinking. It's very true, as I've just been testimony to. Hi, Robert. Thank you for joining. Nice to see you with us today. And Robert's saying hi to Beata and Rajan. I can see Sheldon snuck on. Hi, Sheldon. Thanks for joining us. So, it's really around what are you doing within your business and how are you making it work effectively for you? So, Marcy, you'll have to catch it on the replay now. And I might give you another challenge on top of that because you weren't there and you were upstairs. So Robert's saying that you've been honing your ability to transfer what you feel in your heart to the comments. And we do appreciate you, Robert, for taking the time out of your day to be with us and to share your wisdom and your love. So thank you for that. And Beata's saying hi to everyone. So it's really nice to have everyone together because it's like the family are all coming together for our Monday night chat to connect and see where we're at, what's going on for us and how life's going. So it's really, really nice to do. I'm just going to read one of the cards from the Value in Youth today. And this one that I've picked up is resourceful. No accident. Before I came on, I just pulled out 6 cards and just laid them on the table in any order. And someone just said to me to pick up and read this one, which is one of the 6 cards. And it's resourceful. So it says, sometimes when things do not go as you planned, it's time to look at the situation from another angle and to utilize other available resources. Let your challenges guide you to become more resourceful by finding new means of obtaining a rewarding result. What were we just discussing? Were we not just talking about how we can upgrade, how we can find better and easier ways to deliver what we do? And this is one that I pulled out just before coming live. Wow. So, how resourceful are you in times of your challenges? What is it that you do? How do you function? Or does a challenge come and then it sort of takes over the world and you can't function for a while? Or do you actually take that step back and review the actual challenge and what it means for you and what it can teach you, and then look for a solution that you can get a result or even get a better result than the original one that you were looking for. So sometimes challenges aren't there to stop you. They're actually there to strengthen you and enable you to actually think differently. Because as I mentioned before, we can get stuck in a way of thinking. We can get stuck in a way of being. And it's sometimes the challenges that come up that actually make us wake up to ourselves and realize that we're not serving ourselves in the best way. So it's how you look at the challenge that actually determines the results that you'll end up getting. Because if every time something happens to you, you can't cope, or you're knocked out and you just can't get up and you can't function, what's going to happen to you as you go down the road? Because as you become more successful and as you get bigger tasks, bigger amounts of success, I can guarantee you your challenges are going to get bigger. So if the small challenges knock you out, what are you going to do when you get a really big one? So that's something to consider. How do you view a challenge? Is it a threat or is it an opportunity? All right, Robert's saying, okay, this is your day actually. So you know so many successful people now that your new friends are beginning to notice this, and you like to introduce people together that you believe will experience mutual benefit and collaboration. And that's really good, Robert. So we can now start to call you a global connector as well. And there are a few global connectors in our community and around us. People who are making the effort to get to know people who find out who's got what skills. And therefore, when you're in conversation, and if you're doing active listening, straight away, the ideas come to you in terms of, oh, I can connect this person with that person over there, because I can see how they can be mutually beneficial to each other. And this is, if we think about it, this is how life used to be, in terms of where people did skills swaps, people bartered, because it wasn't always about, okay, I've got to get something from somebody else. It was about, well, how can we support each other? How can we help each other to grow and succeed? And if this is now practiced on another level and a higher level, and there may be an exchange of value in some way, but it helps all of us to keep growing if we have that active listening and realize that we have something to offer somebody else. And it may be, as you mentioned, Robert, by connecting people together. So thank you for sharing that, because that's such a valuable thing that you're doing. Robert, you're giving me a lot of reading to do now. I think I'm going to have to read that one afterwards and come back and I'll answer you later. Otherwise, I'll be here reading rather than chatting to people. And I've only got a few more minutes left. So thank you for that. But I will be responding to you a bit later on. But, I love the interaction. I love that you're taking the time to, share what you're doing and to give hints and tips for all of us, because we can all learn from each other. So that's brilliant. I really enjoy it. So keep sharing. So I think what I would do I want to read another card, Church? Yeah, let's do the opportunity one, because I think that's come up for a reason and it ties in with what Robert was saying. Right, actually, Marcia said something. What has she said? So she tends to go with a school of thought. There is always a way, and with this thought in mind, let's see. Okay, so this is, so Marcia, is this in response to what you do when challenges come? So you're saying that there's always a way, and with this thought in mind, you keep pursuing like a Rottweiler until you find the solution or a way out. Yeah, and exactly that, in terms of, especially if it's something that, hand on heart is right and you can sense it within yourself. Sometimes the way you would initially intended to go about achieving it isn't the way that you need to do it. And there is an alternative route. And as you said, if you hang on like a Rottweiler and you keep the vision in mind and keep determined that you will succeed, and you keep looking for that solution, and having the conversations, the solution normally comes. And I'm a bit like that myself, but especially when I'm with clients, actually, and I'm looking for information from them, and they don't know where it is, or they can't remember, or they can't access something. I'm determined that there's a solution. The answer is here, because this scenario would not exist if there wasn't a solution or an answer or information that we can find that's going to give us the answers that we need. And sometimes I make them laugh, because I won't just sit back and think, oh, well, it's like, well, okay, let's try here, let's try there. Can you know, I'd even get them to stop and think about what they were doing at the time, to go, so they can go back into their memory bank to see if they will get a recollection as to what they did with this piece of information. So yes, you have to hang on sometimes like a Rottweiler in order to get a solution that works for you. Okay, yes, Robert, I've not had an opportunity to watch that interview, but I definitely will be watching it, and probably tonight. So thank you for sharing that with me as well. I thought it was really sweet of you to share. So yeah, so I'm going to read one more, and then I'm going to wrap up, because I don't really want to be cutting into anybody else's time. So this one, as I said, it ties in with what Robert mentioned before, and this is on opportunity. And it says, when your mind is open and you're in a state of readiness, you see opportunity in given situations. A closed mind sees a problem as unresolvable or someone else's issue. When confronted with a challenge, relax and think about the solution you would like to see. Focus your thoughts towards potential solutions and create your own opportunities. Now, as I said, this evening before I came on, I just selected 6 randomly through the pack, and those are 2 of the 6. The others were on peace, health, self, and confidence. But I've not been drawn to read them to you today, but these 2 stuck for some reason, and they happen to tie in with what we were discussing. So I hope that, although it was a shorter program today and we started later, that I've given you some value, that you've got some things to think about. You can go off and do your health check in terms of your business, your job, your activities, to see, well, are the things you're doing still serving you? Or can you tweak them or amend them in some way that they can actually have a greater impact for you, and therefore serve you even better, so that you can serve your customers better? So I'd just like to thank you for joining me this evening. I really do appreciate you taking the time out to be here and connecting here in the Executive Suite. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure to be with you and to share and connect. Although we're not together in person, I feel your energy. So thank you for being here and sharing. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon. Have a fabulous week, and see you on Friday at 8 p.m. Take care and bye for now.